have a good night's sleep, but the question has sort of answered itself.
Adam, I'm loving your Bob Harris routine, whispering away there. That's impressive.
You've got to. He's absolutely right. You cannot be that person on a campsite that everyone wakes up furious with. From Thursday, there'll be big changes in the way we travel or do business with the European Union.
The government is warning there will be some disruption, which everyone needs to prepare for. We're joined now from Westminster by the Cabinet Office Minister, Michael Gove. Mr Gove, good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
Some disruption then. Talk to us in specifics. What changes come New Year's Day in practical terms?
Well, businesses will need to make sure that they're ready for new customs procedures.
It's Sunday, it's 8 o'clock, but not that 8 o'clock. We've got 12 hours to wait yet as the countdown continues. Sunday, the 11th of July. Good morning to you. Before you go, Roy, I've got to ask you about my favourite story in the newspapers this morning, written by you. So you've got to tell us about the Queen and, well, not just Line of Duty, but the X Factor.
Yes, the gaffer of Windsor Castle is a Line of Duty fan.
Rich Preston, BBC News.
Let's take you live to Atlanta now. We can show you these live pictures. It's just after 2 o'clock in the morning there, and a sense with the gathering of the police officers and the, I think, blue flashing lights you can see in the distance of the tension in the city, even in the middle of the night.
Seeing fans back at Wembley for the first time, 8,000 of them. So that would be brilliant, won't it? Proper football fans.
Just another one of those psychologically positive moments, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of life edging back towards normality. Thanks, Kat. See you later.
Now, 3 years after announcing his retirement, former Olympic long jump champion Greg Rutherford is back in training with his sights set on Olympic glory once more.
But it's going to mean swapping his spikes for a sleigh, as he's attempting to become the first Brit to win medals at both the Summer and Winter Games. And he joins us now. Morning to you. I suppose I suppose the first question is obvious, which is why?
John McManus, BBC News.
Meanwhile, the government's been accused of dragging its heels over demands for a guarantee of financial support to the family of healthcare workers who've died treating coronavirus patients. The British Medical Association wants all staff to qualify for benefits, even if they're not covered by existing arrangements. The Department of Health says it's evaluating financial support for the families of those on the front line. Let's head to the Sunday Mirror next. And we hear these stories now and again, don't we? But I guess when they increase in frequency, perhaps we're getting closer to the moment. Oh, whoops. Oh, I've just lost that under the desk.
Okay, it's a cancer test, a 7-minute cancer test, and it's actually a breath test. So you can actually, what you can do, you literally have left what you can do is you can use...
I'm sure there will be bumpy moments, but we're there in order to try to do everything we can to smooth the path.
You're sure there'll be bumpy moments? What do you mean by that? Because, I mean, bumpy moments is people's livelihoods, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Hi, Charlie. It is Trim Dependence Day in England, and it hasn't come a moment soon enough for me. I'm normally not exactly, as you probably know, a slave to fashion. Let's hear the case for staycations, because we're joined now by Dan Yates from the campsite booking firm pitchup.com. He's in Gloucestershire. Morning to you, Dan. So, give us the big sell to a sceptical camper, i.e. me. Why would you want to spend summer under canvas? And alongside the bobsleigh, Greg, you're doing a bit of decorating by the looks of it.
Yeah, do you know, I've tried to angle it slightly so you can't see some of the holes that are still around.
Let's talk about the Brexit deal and this encounter it has with Parliament coming up on Wednesday. The whole mantra around Brexit, that idea of taking back control, parliamentary sovereignty, and yet here comes this hulking deal with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages and just one day of parliamentary scrutiny. It's not ideal, is it, that?
Well, we've been debating Brexit for 4 years or more in Parliament. Well, we've been debating the outlines of what a deal should be, and it sometimes seemed as though the Brexit debate would never end. But now we have a good deal. We have an opportunity to move on, and of course we have an opportunity to take advantage of the opportunities that Brexit will bring. The Prime Minister at the election just over a year ago said if you voted for him he would get Brexit done. He did, he took us out, and then he secured this deal, so we can now put the big political debates about Brexit behind us and concentrate on making sure
but that's not an answer
the country's
to the
in a stronger
question I asked
position.
about scrutiny this week. And the blunt reality is that there's this huge deal, and of course you make the case that it's a great deal, but MPs are rapidly trying to read it, to perform their duty of scrutinising the government, and yet have got hardly any time to do it. I put it to you again, that's not ideal, is it?
Well, I think it's better to have a deal than not, a point that Keir Starmer, the Labour leader,
that's not what
of
I
course,
asked.
has generously
I asked about
made.
scrutiny. It is 8:10 on the nose. I don't often get those right, but second hand just happened to help me out there.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I've been working on that for years, I really have.
David Sillito, BBC News.
Oh, I'm loving that yellow hoodie. Let's talk to Radio 1 presenter and Eurovision superfan Scott Mills, who's hosted previous Eurovision semi-finals. Morning to you, Scott.
Morning, guys.
Let's talk about the BBC programme that came before the thing that we saw from Rotterdam, and that chance to decide the best song. I was rooting for Gina G, but she didn't quite manage it.
I know, even though when you watch that back, you realise really quite out of tune.
Have you ever taken a picture of someone, you know, like a movie star or someone, and just said, you want to look like that? You want your hair to look like that?
Maggie, you know the answer to that question. And the answer begins with an N and ends in an O. Schools in England, we know what the plan is at the moment, particularly as far as secondary schools are concerned. Bring us up to date, because the school holidays are rapidly running out, alas. Is there more news to come as far as schools opening, and in particular, I guess, secondary schools?
Yes, primary schools open. Secondary schools will open next week, we hope, for those in Year 11 and Year 13, those who are doing their GCSEs, their A-levels and other examinations, BTECs and so on. It will also be the case for children in years beyond years 11 and 13 that they will return if their parents are key workers or if those children are vulnerable and in need of the support that a school environment can provide.
And that we're aware of already. I notice you used the word "you hope" there. Does this still remain to be a decision to be taken? And what more evidence do you need before you can be definitive with parents about what's going to be happening in a week's time?
That is the plan, and of course one of the things we want to do is to make sure that with teachers and head teachers we are in a position to have a safe return to school, and that safe return to school is built on making sure that we have effective testing. Teachers have been working incredibly hard during this period, for some of us a holiday period, but for them a period of a continuation of work in order to make sure that testing system is in place.
Just to be clear, Mr. Gove, just before we go, is there another announcement coming this week? Are we going to hear from the Education Secretary?
You'll be hearing from all members of the government this week as we both...
so there is an announcement coming?
There are always announcements coming from this government.
No, but specific, because this really matters to parents, doesn't it?
You're telling me...
Are we going to be hearing from the Education Secretary this week about what's going to happen in a week's time in schools in England or not?
I've already explained what will be happening, but the important thing is that we need to make sure that we talk to teachers and head teachers so that we're in a position to be able to report back on the effectiveness of the preparations that we're all putting in place for testing. And of course, we will keep people updated in real time. I, as the parent of a child, two children I should say, in Year 11 and in Year 13, who have examinations coming up this year, I want to know and I want to be certain that not only are they in a position to learn, but also that they're safe as well.
Never forget the second child. It's a lesson I'm trying to learn with two children as well.
Oh, yes.
From an unclear
11,
Westminster, Mr. Gove, I'm very grateful to you. Thanks very much to
you.
Cabinet Office Minister Michael Gove.
Thank you.
It's easily done. I did it the other day, actually.
What?
A colleague said to me, yeah, but I was trying to make arrangements around picking up my children because my wife was self-isolated. And my colleague said, yeah, but who's going to pick your son up from nursery? I said, oh, yeah, good point. Thanks for that.
Baby.
So I sympathise on that particular point. Oh, go to all the effort of writing the song and got to do another one. Nice to talk to you, Scott. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Scott Mills there, super fan, watching from his sofa as we all were last night. I think Iceland. I think I'd give it to Iceland overall. But yeah, the British entry, an absolute cracker. Thanks for watching Breakfast this morning. Andrew Marr limbering up in London in a couple of minutes. Dan and Louise back tomorrow morning from 6. From all of us here, have a good day.